It's the Andy and Dave Daily right here on the Muskegon channel. I'm Andy O'Reilly. Dave Cackley's over there. Is it Wednesday?
Yes, it is.
We've made it to Wednesday. Look at us. All right.
I didn't even put the tie on today, man.
Look at you.
Sport coat.
Look
Sport coat,
at
open
you.
collar, tanned and ready.
You've got the whole biz casual thing going on TV.
Yes, that's what I do.
Kind of like, look at me. I'm cool. I get it.
For a while, I was making it my Friday thing, and then
Were
I
you?
switched it up, and then I moved it to a Thursday, and then I said, you know what? I'm just going to surprise you. You never know what day the sport coat and open collar shirt with the partially shaved chest is going to when that's going to reveal itself.
Nice.
So it's a nice little surprise for the peeps.
Nice. Well, and I know the girls dig it. Hey, you know what? You came up yesterday in a story that we were doing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
With who?
Well, we were doing a story about Every Woman's Place, and they've got their Power of the Purse event coming up, which you've been invited to multiple times. We've talked about it here on the thing. It's going to be on October 11th at Fricano's here in town. And
okay, that's what day? That's not on a weekend, though, is it?
No, it's on a Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. I know.
Thursday,
hey.
You know what? Thursday still might be doable.
Yeah.
Thursday night. That week is kind of crazy, though, because I got the Bras for a Cause where I try and cure breast cancer on the Friday in Holland.
Yeah.
So.
Well, something to think about.
I might be able to. I would like to be able to do something like that.
It's like a 5:30 to an 8 o'clock deal where they have this Bras, or you got Bras for a Cause. This one's about domestic violence. And what they do is they send male models out with purses to bid on things. Now, last year, it came down to me and the mayor of Norton Shores bidding on a Michigan package and a Michigan State package. And guess who won?
You took him down?
U of
Look
M,
at you.
Andy, right here. Yes, sir.
All right.
We
Good
thrashed
for
his
you.
ass right there in front of God and everybody over Michigan State. And this year, he thinks he's coming for a little revenge.
Okay.
And let's just say that the director of Every Woman's Place might have a crush on a certain traffic guy.
Look, I am.
And
don't do that. Don't.
And don't think of it like this. Don't think of it like one of these crushes where she's gonna drag you off to the. She's married and she's got kids and everything. She's just very flattered whenever you're around.
Oh, okay. Oh, good.
One of those type
that's
things.
Very nice. That's very, very nice. I will really try and do it. Like I said, because I'm burning the candle at both ends.
Oh yeah.
And that is a crazy, like that
Just
Friday.
I
gotta prepare my liver for that Friday.
I wouldn't want you to. I would. The invite's extended. Okay.
I appreciate it, and
I wouldn't want you not showing up to be. I wouldn't want that to come across as you being in favor of domestic abuse.
Right. No, it's thanks. Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very, very cool event. I will definitely try and make it for that.
Put that in your phone, in your little thing there. Yeah.
All right, then.
Might be a good chance to get your $20 that you have coming, too.
Oh, that's right. Since the Tigers didn't come remotely close to ever reaching 500. We got some additional sad sports stuff to get to real quick later on. But,
so think about that for next Thursday.
All right, sounds good.
All right, what's in the news?
Well, an envelope addressed to President Trump contained a substance suspected to be ricin. Ricin is, of course, a highly toxic compound that has been used in terror plots, causing internal bleeding, liver and kidney failure, and eventual death by collapse of the circulatory system.
Ooh.
The envelope was not received and never entered the White House. Another letter containing the substance was addressed to the Pentagon, and an investigation is ongoing. Man, that's always scary stuff.
How do you get your hands on that stuff?
I would never open any. I don't even want to open any envelopes ever.
No.
You never know when it's ricin or when it's that other. What's the other powder that freaks everybody out and causes things to go into a lot? Tinactin. No, wait, that's.
I get freaked out whenever I see that.
Tinactin.
Gold Bond.
Oh, jeez. Okay, moving on. 80s actress Molly Ringwald is taking a critical look at some of her previous movies in the wake of #MeToo. The 50-year-old actress discussed 16 Candles and The Breakfast Club's allegedly racist and sexist overtones on NPR. Despite some of these scenes, Ringwald says she's still proud of her work. I don't know about the racial stuff now, but I do know what she's talking about with the one scene in 16 Candles, and I still remember almost verbatim the dialogue Jake Ryan is talking to Anthony Michael Hall's character about, I got Caroline passed out in the bedroom. I could violate her 10 different ways if I wanted to. And Anthony Michael Hall's character goes, what are you waiting for? And I remember seeing this as like a 13, 14-year-old going, are they talking about raping this girl?
Oh,
is that what they're talking about? Because then it doesn't ruin the movie, because I love the movie. The movie's still a great movie. And Long Duck Dong, I don't care what anybody says. That's not you say, that's a racist. That's one of the most hysterical characters of all time. That was just, he's phenomenal. And Asians are destroying everybody economically anyway. They're kicking ass. I don't really think that really had an adverse impact on the Asian community. So I kind of just roll my eyes at that. But yeah, the sexual, I mean, that was one of those things that even back then for me as a teenager going, that scene didn't sit right to me in the movie. There's that specific dialogue, especially. I'm like,
I'll tell you, I mean, that one never really bothered me at all, because it just didn't. I don't know. It didn't strike me. Maybe I hadn't figured it out yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the movie that I think could never get made today, if it were to come out. Do you remember The Professional?
Professional.
It had.
I don't know if I saw the entire movie.
It was Natalie Portman, and I think she was probably 12 or 13 at the time, and she played this girl that got caught up in the middle of this hitman thing, and I can't think of the guy's name, but he was a French actor, and he was this hitman.
Gerard Depardieu?
No, it wasn't Depardieu. It was a great movie, and it really is a great movie. It's intense. It's thing.
Is it midnight? It must have been mid-90s.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one I don't think could ever get made today.
And just because of what exactly? I mean, what?
The way that Natalie Portman, I mean, she was kind of over-sexualized for somebody that age. The relationship was really kind of sticky. It was just very awkward and very. Yeah. That's the one I don't think that could get made today. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that couldn't get made. Hey, Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles, the greatest movie, one of the funniest.
Think about everything in Blazing Saddles that is so raunchy and offensive,
which CNN would cover 24/7. The riots in the streets.
No way in hell that gets made today.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny is Richard Pryor, because Richard Pryor, one of the greatest comics of all time, was one of the writers on that movie.
Yep.
And there were scenes in it where he said, I mean, it's like, no, you have to leave it in. And like executives would be like, black people are going to be rioting in the theaters. Like, and he's like, no, they understand comedy. It's funny. Leave it in.
Yeah.
And people, it seems like almost like people were a little more, maybe in some ways, a little more sophisticated and can handle things that people, for whatever reason, even though let's be honest, it's not. If you take your life off of social media and just how people live in the real world, it's not really an issue for the most part for most people.
Yeah.
I think that it's sad that some of those movies you couldn't see made, and they were the classic, incredibly well done films, and we got a lot of hot garbage and a lot of remakes of crap. I mean, I loved Magnum PI. As a kid, it was one of the shows I watched. Did we need a retooling and a remake of that show? Did we need a remake of Hawaii Five-0?
No.
I mean, sure, hey, I was a Cam Fong fan as much as the next guy, but I didn't. We didn't.
Speaking of current shows, man, I came home last night from the reading program at the jail, and Cindy had like the last 3 minutes of The Voice on. Dude, I wanted to hit myself in the head with an axe. Who can watch that? Oh.
People like singing and dancing shows. They're cheap to make.
Singing and dancing's fine. You know what I didn't need? All the fake screaming and all the fake excitement and all the fake this. It's like,
hey, it's real to them.
Shut up. Oh, awful.
Yeah.
Murder. No more.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm in the background going, please give me a documentary. Quick.
That's one of the best parts about getting old is getting old and hating stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I've got this weird kind of, it's hard to like, it's a fun hate. Like I was thinking about one of the bands, and I actually was listening to Adam Carolla's podcast, and he went off on Limp Bizkit. That's just some of the crappy stuff that, I mean, how Limp Bizkit ever became. I mean, and he had a good point, because I think of today's, as crappy as some of today's stuff is, none of it was as terrible as Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit was so bad, and there were so many of those 90s bands. A lot of them some of them that I unfortunately had to experience at Ozfest back around 2000 in Sacramento when I made my sojourn out to California. It was just I remember watching this going, this is just god awful. I mean, there was no talent. It was terrible. And Limp Bizkit.
You know what though? I mean, there's a couple of Limp Bizkit songs I still kind of dig.
What?
Like
name
Counterfeit.
Name half of
That's
one.
a pretty good song.
Oh Jesus, no.
No. And their cover of Faith.
God bless. Oh God, that was awful.
No, that was good. I like that.
Faith was terrible.
I thought it was great.
That wasn't even a good George Michael song. It was a worse.
That was a great George Michael song. What are you, drunk?
Get out.
Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. I had to punch you in the face.
Finally, it's Kids Count Day in Muskegon and across the state. The nearly 900 school districts and charter schools tally the number of students in attendance today for aid purposes. October's count represents 90% of state funding. So unless your kid's projectile vomiting, you probably want to send them off to school today.
Get them to school. We were talking about Kids Count Day a little bit last night at the reading program.
Okay, your wife's got to hate that. He's like, oh, great. All these damn kids are going to be showing up to class today.
I don't think that they hate it. I just think it's that they get, it is what it is. And what they do, we were talking about it at the jail last night about Count Day, because there's, a couple of teachers that go down there. And I said, you know what Kids Count Day was when I was a kid? Because, they were talking about the incentives that they do for these kids to get them there on Count Day. And they make a whole week out of it. One day's jeans and T-shirts day, the next day's cowboy day, the next day's inside out day, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what it was when I was a kid? What? Get your ass beat day if you don't go to school.
Go to school, or you get the left hand or the right hand. That's choose.
That's exactly what it was. There was no pizza party for us. It was
I never got that.
Get there or get an ass whipping. That's how it worked.
I'm trying to think if my mom ever slapped me. And because I had a weird question for my mom the other day. It just came to me out of the blue, and when I was, because it was a kid, it was one of those things my mom used to say to me all the time if I did something either stupid or spilled something, and nobody could ever picture my mom doing this. Jesus Christ, you shithead! I mean, like, that's seriously. I was called a shithead from the time I was 8 until I was 13 for pretty much anything I did that was wrong. And it was just because, and that was back when my mom was smoking, and maybe she hadn't had a smoke in like 6 minutes, so she was a little, And no one could picture my mom doing that today. It's like, what? Your mom's... And my mom was great. I had a great mom. That was good parenting. I'm not speaking out against it. It was funny to think about. It's like, God, you used to call me a shithead a lot. Yeah. She's like, I think you were about 8. Yeah, from 8 to probably 12, 13. Yeah. And then she stopped.
My mom went to cuff me up once, and she goes, "You son of a bitch." I said, "You got the last part right."
Oh, no.
That's what I said.
Oh, God. Oh, that is a great kid comeback, though. Oh, my God. That is because she's got to pause for a second.
I think I was about 13, and she went to slap me, and I caught her hand up in the air, which bad.
I remember. I love this. This
bad idea, right? So here comes the hand. I catch it in the midair, and she gets that look on her face, like, that mom look. So I immediately duck and cover. I'm like, oh, my God. She's, let me hit you, you son of a bitch. And I'm like, you got the last part right. I'm hiding underneath.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, man. What do you got in sports?
Day. Cubs lose. Cubs lose. Over for the Cubbies. They dropped the wild card to the Rockies 2-1. They just really fell off the cliff the last week or so. It was like, you're the division, leading division, division champ. No, not that. Wild card. Nope, done. And we're talking about it. Would you rather be a Tigers fan or a Cubs fan today? I'd rather be a Tigers fan today.
See?
I mean, it was a wasted season for the Cubs after all that. But hey, you still have that World Series from a year ago or 2 years ago, whenever the hell it was, to hold on to. There's always that. You don't have to wait. It's not been 100 years. It's been 2. So you're good to go. That's sports.
Right. Have yourself a great Wednesday.
See ya.